Kasi akala nila kailangan first time homebuyer ka para 5% or kailangan ilang years mo nang nabenta yung bahay mo before ka ulit maging considered na first time homebuyer. At meron ngang isang nagtanong na subscriber natin at tinatanong niya kung ano nga daw ba ang dapat nating i-ready in terms of financing pag tayo ay bibili ng bahay. So again, to summarize, legal fees, GST for brand new homes. Hello everyone, this is me again, Joy Fajardo. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. You are watching Joy in Alberta, and for today, nandito pa rin tayo sa aming bahay sa Edmonton, Alberta. At ayan, makikita nyo nga ang ganda ng sinag ng araw. Pero wait! Meron ngang extreme cold warning. So initially, we are actually planning to swim today. Pero dahil nga dyan sa extreme cold warning na yan, ay hindi kami natuloy. Makikita nyo guys, puting-puti sa labas, malamig, ayan. Ang temperature po ay minus 20 degrees Celsius. Maybe it feels like lower. Pero sa ibang part ng Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, umaabot ng minus 50 degrees Celsius yung feels with the wind chill and all. So, kahit pa paano, swerte pa rin tayo kasi minus 20 degrees Celsius lang at matirik pa rin ang araw kasi nga nasa sunniest province tayo, di ba? Ayan. Kaya mainit pa rin pag tumapat kayo ng araw. Pero paglabas nyo ay talaga namang makasugat ng kamay, ang dryness at ang lamig. So, magkwentuhan muna tayo sa loob ng bahay at sa susunod na lang namin kayo ulit sasama sa aming pag-drive. Let's go! So, meron nga tayo guys, ginawang video yesterday. Pinakita namin sa inyo yung isa sa mga, or yung ilan sa mga bahay na tinignan namin from one builder dito nga sa malapit na community sa may sa amin. Ayan. At meron ngang isang nagtanong na subscriber natin at tinatanong niya kung ano nga daw ba ang dapat nating i-ready in terms of financing pag tayo ay bibili ng bahay. So, I got here the list na pinabayaran sa amin or binayaran namin with the lawyer. Usually kasi si lawyer ang, kumbaga, middleman, diba? Na parang hindi natin ididiretso yung bayad dun sa broker. Si lawyer ang magiging middleman para siguradong lahat ay legal, walang scam. Unang-una sa lahat, gusto ko lang i-point out, guys, na in terms of deposit, diba? So, alam na natin na ang una nating kailangan i-ready na big chunk of money is yung ating deposit. Tama? Ang hindi alam ng lahat ay pwede kang mag 5% deposit kahit na hindi ka first time home buyer. Kasi akala nila kailangan first time home buyer ka para 5% or kailangan ilang years mo nang nabenta yung bahay mo before ka ulit maging considered na first time home buyer. That is true somehow, pero ang last say whether you can go for 5% deposit or not is still the bank or the broker. Okay, actually it's the bank, not the broker. So si broker lang ang maglalayas between the bank and you, pero the final say is with the bank. Pag sinabi mo kay bank na, bank, gusto ko lang 5%, ang kaya ko lang 5%, pero ito yung mga documents ko, meron akong trabaho, meron akong source of income, tapos kasama ko dito sa loan na to, sa mortgage na to yung husband ko, ito yung information niya, blah blah blah. Tapos isama nyo na rin kung merong child care benefits, yung mga ganon, kung meron kayong second, third source of income, part-time jobs, or kung meron kayong other real estates na kumikita ng income, lahat yan isama nyo. And tatanungin din nila, of course, kung ano yung mga properties nyo, kung ano yung mga loans and other utang nyo in life, ayan. And sila yung magsasabi na, sorry, you cannot go for 5%, or yeah, sure, 5% is good. So at the end of the day, si bank ang magsasabi kung kaya o hindi ng 5% deposit lang. Here's the catch. If you go for 5% deposit, they might, or actually I'm pretty sure they will, ask for you to get mortgage insurance, which will push the price of the property higher. Kasi parang in the whole amount, i-insure nila yon para protection sa sarili nila. Hindi yun protection ko as a buyer, it's protecting themselves as the lender. So, pag nagbayad ka ng mortgage insurance, which is pretty expensive din, I think yung 5% na dineposit mo is a big chunk of that will go towards that insurance. So, in other words, kung wari, bumili ka ng bahay worth 500,000, nagbayad ka ng 5% deposit. Ang utang mo pa rin sa kanila is very close to 500,000 because of that mortgage insurance. So, yun lang yung catch. So, I would highly recommend if you can go more than 5%, if you can go 15, 20? 20 actually is best kasi lahat ng bangko medyo nagluluwag kapag ka nagbigay ka ng 20% deposit. What does that mean na nagluluwag? Hindi na sila masyadong mahigpit sa mga kailangan ko na ganito, kailangan. May mga requirements pa rin pero most probably, mas lenient na sila, mas okay na sila kasi ang laki na nung binigay mo 20%. If you can go 50%, that's even better, di ba? The higher, the better. But I think it's on the 20% mark that they are more comfortable lending you without too much requirements ba. So 5% deposit, even if you're not a first-time home buyer, it's the discretion of the bank. Paano ko nalaman? Kasi bumili po kami. Kasi nangutang po kami, so nakatatlong homes kami, di ba? Funny enough, the first home, we didn't go for 5%, we go for higher. Then the second home, we go for 5%. So the second home was bought within 1-2 years, I think, of buying the first, or of mortgaging the first, di ba? So, kaya I'm pretty sure na pwede. So, yan po yan. At wala kaming ibang in-applyan na provincial program whatsoever. It's really between me and the bank or between me and the broker. And then the broker, ako yung nagsabi na, gusto kong bumili nito, pero ito lang yung kaya ko. Kung hindi mo ako kayang pautangin with this amount ng deposit, then ayaw ko kasi hindi ko kaya. Yun. So, anyway, so pwede po siya. Expenses na tayo. First is, of course, we all know the legal fees. Legal fees would depend on the law firm that you will get. So also, if you're buying if you are buying a brand new home, there are some builders who actually takes care of the legal fees for you. So for example, yung sa amin, I think we got a discount for this, which is, I think, $500 or $600, thereabouts. Ang binayaran namin with field law is $710 plus tax. And then, dun din kami kasi sa kanila nagpa-notarize for the sale of the first property na binenta nga namin. So, we paid an additional $550 for that sale. So for the selling, it's $550. For the buying, we paid $710. Yung $710, as I've mentioned, I think is a discounted price na. Kasi a portion of that is actually paid by the builder. Okay? Actually, it's not the builder. It's paid by the broker, I think. Kasi syempre may commission yan, di ba? So, instead of getting the commission, I think he might have just forfeited the commission for me to get a portion. Parang ganon. Hindi ko rin sure. Basta, nagbigay siya ng portion. Depende yan kung saan yung law firm na kukunin niya. Next is GST. So, of course, if you're buying a brand new home, expect that there's going to be a 5% GST on top of the price of the home. Again, there are some builders na pag nag-post sila ng price ng bahay, kasama na po doon yung GST. So you have to confirm with the builder if the cost of the home na nakapost, does it include the GST or not? Kasi kung hindi pa kasama yung GST, you have to be mindful. Kasi kung ang nakalagay doon, say for example, $520, pag kasama yung GST, magiging $550, $560 pala siya. Ganon. Now, if you're not buying a brand new home, if you're buying a second, third-hand home, another expense that you have to be prepared for is the home inspection cost. So approximately it can range from $300 to $500. I think it's really more towards $500 kasi yung dalawang second-hand homes na inutang namin sa PEI, it was already at $500 when we did the home inspection. I would highly recommend going for home inspection, especially if kayong mag-asawa ay hindi very handy man. Or if it's your first time buying a home in Canada, I would highly, highly recommend going for home inspection. Reason is because buying a home in Canada is different from buying a home in the Philippines. Simple cracks in the basement, pwedeng malaking issue na yan pagdating dito sa Canada, pero sa Pilipinas, scary boom boom lang, di ba? So, meron pang mga crack lines, yung mga horizontal, vertical, or minsan meron na kasi siyang pink, yung insulation, yon. So, pag may insulation na yung wall, syempre hindi mo na makikita yung mga cracks, ganyan-ganyan. So, you need someone to tell you that everything is good and they are actually licensed, so get a good one. I always don't go for inspectors that are connected with the realtor or ayoko nang directly related sa kanila kasi nga, syempre po kasabihin nila. Although, I don't think it will happen here in Canada, but still, I just want it to be a clear line na talagang the inspector doesn't know you, they don't know them, and clear talaga na walang ganon na magaganap. But anyway, ayun, highly recommended talaga siya. Another thing is, kasi nga may basement dito, tapos yung HVAC, yung mga ganyan, lalo na kung bago dito sa Canada or first time nyo ang bibili ng bahay sa Canada, kasi sa apartment naman, hindi naman tayo yung involved heavily sa maintenance ng mga heater, ng mga oil tanks, ng HVAC, as I've mentioned, air condition, humidifier, dehumidifier, water, sewage, mga hose, pipes, hindi tayo yung involved dyan when we are renting a home. So, pag bumili na kayo ng bahay, ay ibang usapan na yun, di ba? At saka yung mga best practices sa Canada. For example, yun lang, simple lang sa stairs. Any 3 steps, more than 3 steps na stairs, kailangan na niya ng handrails. So, yung ground, pag it's going towards the house, it has a negative effect after winter kasi yung water magpupunta dun sa basement, blah, blah, blah. Tapos, meron ding sump pump, di ba? Yung mga bagay na minsan wala sa Pilipinas na meron dito. So, at least, kung may mag-i-inspect, i-walk through nila kayo, pati sa popping of nails, sasabihin nila sa inyo na, okay, your shingles, again, so it's slightly different. In the Philippines, we use yung sa roof, ang gamit natin is yung normal na mga yero, ganyan. Dito shingles. So pag may nagpa-pop na shingles or pag mali yung pagkaka-install ng shingles, they'll tell you that, or they'll tell you, okay, this shingles is already 10 years old, 10 or 12 years old or 15 years old. And palitin na siya. So they'll let you know kung ano yung mga sira, pati sa mga windows, pati sa mga doors, ano yung mga dapat palitan. And then from there, you'll have a good fighting chance of getting discount if acceptable yung mga sinabi nila, or it can be the best $500 you spend to step out of that deal kasi hindi siya maganda. For example, nagkaroon na pala ng water leakage. Pininturahan lang, hindi nyo na nakita yung marks na may water leakage, di ba? So, there are chances na magkaroon na siya ng molds and blah, blah, blah. So, lots of things comes into play. So, definitely go for an inspection and it will cost you around $500. It's never a waste. Whether you buy the home or not, that $500 is an expense. As soon as they inspect the home, it's $500 outright. Pero, having said that, dahil nga sa presyo ng bahay, it could be the best $500 that you have spent. So, I heard that story from my one of my godmother. And sabi nga niya, sabi ng ninang ko is, yun nga, nag-step back siya dun sa deal because she learned na meron na palang water leakage, water damage before dun sa condo na bibilin. So, best $500 spent. Next is, you also have to ask if kasama na ba sa pricing ng bahay yung mga equipments. So, sa mga first time or sa mga brand new homes, make sure na kasama ang microwave, ang oven, ang stove, ang dishwasher, ang dryer, ang washer, dapat kasama yan. Kung hindi, how much would it cost? Does that make sense? Diba? Kasi minsan sasabihin mo, $550 to, mas mura to kaysa dun sa kabila. Pero yung $550 na yun ay plus pa kasi wala pa palang equipment na kasama siya. If you're buying a second-hand home, there are some homes na meron ng additional na fridge sa basement, may additional stove, may additional deep freezer, ganyan. So, just make sure na alam nyo kung ano yung kasama dun sa binabayaran nyo at alam nyo kung ano yung hindi kasama para ready kayo for additional expenses kung hindi kasama. Next is title insurance. So, yung specific sa case namin, we paid $195 for the title insurance. Hindi ko alam kung para saan yun. Pero pati sa PEI, meron title insurance. I think it's just making sure na hindi ginamit yung title ng bahay to mortgage something else, right? Especially if second-hand home. I think ganun siya ha. Yung parang magta-title search, i-make sure na okay siya. Yun ang tingin ko. Pero baka mali ako. $195 lang eh. Anyway, Landscape deposit. There are some brand new homes na may community na nagre-require ng deposit. It can range from $1,000 to $3,000 or more depending on the community. It's just a deposit for them to be sure na magpapa-landscape kayo, front and back yard nyo. Kasi 'di ba yung mga community, syempre gusto nila i-make sure na maganda yung kanilang community overall. So, yung $1,000 na deposit na yon, ibabalik nila yun sa inyo as soon as you're done with your landscaping. Again, pag second-hand home, usually wala nang ganon. Next is tax adjustments. This applies for brand new and second-hand homes, I believe. So, syempre, may binayaran ng portion si previous owner or si builder. So, i-make sure lang na tama yung pagde-divide. Na tama yung binayaran nila, tama yung binayaran mo. Now, at the end of the day, specifically sa case namin, may binayaran ng portion si builder, binalik ko yung portion na binayaran niya na by right ako yung magbabayad. Ngayon, nung final na namin yung going forward, yung for the year of 2025, nag-recalculate si Edmonton, City of Edmonton, and na-realize na kulang yung binayad for last year. So, I paid an additional. So, later on, what I'm gonna do, na hindi ko pa nagagawa na dapat ginawa ko na guys, kukontakin ko si builder at sasabihin ko sa kanila na, uy, nagbayad pa ako ng additional blah, blah, blah. A big chunk of this should have been yours because you own the home for the first 10 months or 9 months of the year and I just own it October, diba? So, i-split yon properly in between sa Bedrock or dun sa builder and us. Pero, yun, up front, merong tax adjustment based on sa computation ni builder. Okay? Okay, next is property insurance. So, hindi pa to kasama guys sa pagbili nyo ng bahay. Ang property insurance, again, depending sa location, depending sa size ng bahay, depende sa taon, sa age ng bahay. It can go more expensive as a home gets older because it's more prone to damages and things like that. If you are living in a place na mas malala ang snow, mas malala ang hail, things like that, may consider din yan. Number of people leaving the home, and then also how far you are with a fire hydrant, yung mga ganon. Yung fire hydrant is yung blue and yellow na basta yun. Kung may fire, dun kasi dun nagkukuha ng water. So, kung malapit kayo dun, may points din yon towards yung inyong insurance. Specifically dito sa bahay, our property insurance was, I think, close to 1,200 plus, 1,300 I think. Dun lang naglalaro. But average in Alberta or here in Edmonton is around 1,700. So, yun siya. Yearly. And lastly, before we finish, of course, you have to take into consideration moving expenses. Depending on how far you are moving from, so if you're just within Edmonton, it's probably going to be cheaper. But if you're moving from a different province like us, we spent around $3,000 just for the moving of our items from Prince Edward Island to here. Also, if you're going to be selling your stuffs and buying new stuffs here, those are other things that you have to consider as well. Pero overall, yun lang. Yun yung mga expenses. So again, to summarize, legal fees, 700 to 1,000 or more. GST for brand new homes is 5%. Home inspection for second-hand homes is going to be around $500. Fridge, oven, washer, it depends if it's included or not included. If it's not included, it can go for around 6,000 thereabouts. That's for fridge, oven, washer, dryer. The most basic, I think it's going to go 6,000 to 10,000. Title insurance, it can go around $200. Landscape deposit, depending on the community. This is for a brand new home. It can go from 1,000 to 3,000 or more. Tax adjustments, it really depends on when you bought the property. The longer in the year that you get the property, or so say for example, the earlier in the year you bought the property, the higher portion of the tax probably that you'll have to pay. Property insurance, again, here in Edmonton, the average is 1,700, and then moving expense can be as low as probably 300, can go as high as 3,000 plus. So depende yan kung ilang balik-balik, kung mag-rent ba kayo ng U-Haul or any other moving services. So yun siya. Yun lang guys, sana may naitulong sa inyo ang video namin na ito, at kung meron pa kayong further questions dito sa topic na ito, ay huwag kayong mahihiyang mag-comment sa comment section sa baba. Kung meron kaming nakalimutan na dapat nababayaran, please let us know in the comment section as well. And don't forget, of course, to like, subscribe, share this video to your friends, and always be kind to people. Ingat kayo sa inyong buhay-buhay.